welcome back to my channel Dead of Night. It was a damp November evening when Aisha moved into her new apartment. The old building stood at the edge of town, hidden between taller, modern blocks like a forgotten memory. She had gotten the place cheap, too cheap, but being new to the city, she didn't ask many questions. The first night passed quietly. The walls creaked as old buildings do, and the wind howled against the broken windows in the hallway. Aisha shrugged it off. She was used to living alone. Fear was something she had learned to control over the years. But things changed the second night. At exactly 2:13 a.m., she woke up to a soft tapping sound. Tap, tap, tap. It was so faint she thought she was imagining it. She sat up in bed, her heart beating faster. The room was cold. The kind of cold that doesn't come from broken heaters, but from something deeper. Something that seems to seep into your bones. The tapping continued. It was coming from the wall behind her bed. Aisha pressed her ear against the wall. Maybe it was the neighbor. But all she heard was a soft, breathy whisper, so faint she could barely make out the words. "Come in." She jerked back. Her mind raced for a logical explanation. Maybe the pipes, or some prank from the kids next door. Trying to calm herself, she decided to move her bed slightly away from the wall. The third night it got worse. Again at 2:13 a.m., the tapping began, but this time it was louder, more urgent. She sat frozen in her bed as the whispers grew louder too, desperate, almost pleading. "Come in, please." Aisha grabbed her phone and turned on the flashlight. She inspected the wall carefully. It looked normal. Flaky paint, a few small cracks, nothing unusual. Then she noticed it. A faint outline of a door, painted over and hidden right where her bed had been. It was narrow and strange, almost too small for a person to fit through. Her heart sank. Why would someone seal a door inside an apartment? The next day, she asked the building manager, an old woman who lived downstairs. "That's just an old maintenance hatch. Nothing important. Best you leave it alone," the woman said sharply, avoiding Aisha's eyes. "But it's inside my bedroom," Aisha insisted. The woman simply shrugged and muttered, "The ones before you didn't stay long either." That night, sleep didn't come easily. She lay in bed, staring at the outline of the hidden door, the flashlight clutched tightly in her hand. Minutes dragged into hours. At exactly 2:13 a.m., the tapping began again louder than before. And this time, the whispers were unmistakable. "Let me out." Aisha jumped up, heart hammering in her chest. Against her better judgment, she approached the hidden door. The air around it was icy. Her breath came out in white puffs. She reached out and touched the door. Instantly, a surge of cold traveled up her arm, and she stumbled back. The tapping grew frantic, desperate, like fists pounding from the other side. Terrified, she fled the room and spent the rest of the night curled up on her living room sofa. At dawn, she made a decision. She would break the wall open. Whatever was behind that door, she had to know. Maybe if she faced it, it would stop. She bought a small sledgehammer from a hardware store. That evening, she stood in front of the hidden door, hammer in hand. Her hands trembled. Sweat trickled down her back despite the cold. She swung. The wall cracked. Again. A hole formed. She shone her flashlight inside. It wasn't a maintenance hatch. It was a small, narrow room no bigger than a closet. And inside there was a chair. On the chair sat a crumpled figure. A woman.